Hello, Paul Arnold back here again, and today I want to review this book, which is Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last. Now, probably many of you have seen his great TED Talk, all about Start With Why, and this I think is an equally brilliant book, and I would certainly recommend it. The core concept within this book is all about how, as a leader, you need to create the environment, the culture that allows your team to thrive and to do what they're basically empowered to go and do. And it's all about building trust within that space, giving people the chance to be empowered. And I think one of the nice things about it is it really builds off a lot of the work that's been done by other people about this sort of psychologically safe place to be. And I'll be certainly reviewing another book about that, which builds off all the work that Google has gone and done. The quite nice thing it also does, it talks a lot about the chemicals that we have flowing around our body and how they basically drive our behaviors. And all those positive ones like, dopamine and serotonin and endorphins and oxytocin, the ones that make us feel sort of happy and part of a team and all that stuff. He says, the more you can do to actually stimulate that, the better your team is going to be. And the thing you've got to stop doing is stop creating cortisol in infused environments. Now, cortisol is the chemical of sort of fear and anxiety. And if you're in a society that's basically judging you and challenging you and criticizing you, then basically you just get your body filled with this cortisol every single day. And the trouble is, when you get cortisol in your body all the time, it closes down your periphery systems. And that's why so many people at work have got colds and things like that, because they're living in a place of constantly being challenged and being attacked. And that isn't a healthy place to be, as we all know. He goes on to talk a lot about how the way that society's gone and the Gen Me way, and actually the whole thing about how society moved towards actually saying that people were dispensable at work, and this idea that actually what we're in is a situation where profit comes before people, and he's really challenging and pushing that stuff. Now, he says there are sort of 5 basic rules about how do you create these great teams. He says, well, number 1, the first thing you've got to do is bring people together. So he's saying, there's something about the physical coming together of people which you can't do if someone's over in Seattle and someone is over in say Ceylon. So actually this coming together is a really important thing, and pushing people together more and more is bad and stuff. Point number 2, he says, obey Dunbar's rule. And Dunbar's rule is this psychologist who worked out the most profoundly effective teams are less than 150. It's found within tribes, within the military and everything like that. More than 150 things fall apart. So you've got to keep it below 150. And even that sounds a massive amount. Third thing is this idea about you've got to meet the people you help. And if you can actually get people to go and see and people who they're servicing, their customers, then actually it brings it real. It creates that greater sense of purpose, and that's what you need to do. Fourth thing is give people time, not just money. So the most important thing a leader can do is to put the pen down, switch the computer off, turn and face them, and give them undiluted time. It is about acknowledgement, and acknowledgement, as we know, is the most powerful thing that everyone wants to have. To say, I am important, please listen to me. And the last one is to be patient. This idea that things don't happen overnight, and you've got to build this time and build team and give people a chance to actually sometimes get it a bit wrong before they get it right. Criticism of the book. Look, I think, it's full of great stories. He's always brilliant at that stuff. It's dense. There's lots of really good stuff. I just scratched the surface of what's in this book. So you get a lot out of just reading this one book. But that said, it does repeat and meander at times. And as is the fault with so many books, you take one theory and try to make the whole world be seen per that theory, which is a slightly sort of simplistic way, because actually there's massive complexity. You can't do that. And the other thing is, you read this book and you think, actually, the whole world is going to hell within a handcart. And actually, the negativity has got about capitalism is probably a bit far-fetched, because as many as you can quote cases of companies which are doing it wrong, there are still millions of brilliant companies who are doing it really well. That said, it's a highly recommended book. I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. I think I got a lot out of it, and it certainly builds off a lot of the theory that's going on right now about psychological safety. Anyway, if you want a more thorough review of it, look at my website and you'll see that stuff, and follow up on some of the other stuff I'm doing. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.